Hello and welcome to the Line War tournament, the biggest game perhaps in the upper bracket. Really exciting. I maybe saw this as the final, though to be fair, I actually predicted it would be Animorph instead of Nickname. But any of those two could definitely be the final, and as the tournament has progressed, this I see as the final sort of. Of course, whoever loses this game has the opportunity to fight their way back through the lower brackets and have another shot at it at the final. Yeah, the finals are a bit weird in that way, but that's how it is. And this is gonna be a bit of a different video because they streamed this match on Discord, and I didn't have the self-control to stay away from that, so I had to watch it, and it was really, really good. And I think a lot of people watched it, so I'm gonna take kind of another spin on this. I won't spoil the result, but it will be more of a analysis, I guess, or just post view where I can actually see what both players do, because of course in the stream you only see it from one perspective. So I wanted to go through it anyways, and it would feel weird to have all these games in the channel and then not have the one of the biggest games, the semi-final. So that's why I'm going through all the games in this video, and I might speed it up, or I certainly will speed it up a few times, because otherwise it's going to be a very long video. So that's a little spoiler already. But yeah, let's just take a dive into it and see what happens. So yeah, just a heads up that it's going to be a bit of a different video, and it's going to be all the matches. And let's see if the game is actually running here. It's not. Okay, then that's why nothing is happening. So this is the first game between the two, and it's a very gas heavy map on the left side and a very eco heavy, I guess, on the right side, with 2 CDs, maybe even 3 or 4, and a trade as well. And they both want to start down here. By the way, it's Nickname in red and AK in blue. So Nickname in general has a tendency to steer towards the right side and AK towards the left side. So Nickname in that regard will have more territory, while AK will have a bunch of gas. Not too much eco though, unless he gets these 2 cities, of course. Now, of course, I know where they actually start, but I think both this and this is valid starting points for Nickname. But starting down here could kind of, I don't know, I think it's more encapsulating than this one. Like, it's easier to get a good start here and then expand down here, rather than start here and then expand up north, depending of course on where AKA starts, because AKA could start here, but he's, as we know him, very aggressive. So he starts all the way up here, has that long line as well as Nickname also has. It's definitely a tendency I've seen with all the best players. They're making these long lines as starting points usually. So AKA is certain that Nickname starts up here, I would say, with the with all the base up here from the get-go. And he builds a eco, air, 2 barracks and a factory, while Nickname builds 3 barracks and an airport and 2 eco, 2 towns. And with this, he will definitely try to expand across the map. I actually didn't spot that they were connected here. Somehow I didn't spot that. So I think AKA is very obsessed about kind of keeping Nickname up here. I could imagine, at least. AKA puts down a industry and then a barracks for expansion. So you can get that economy rolling, and he can get a few troops over here. Because he knows that Nickname will not just sit here and fight. He will definitely do everything in his power to expand. And he's expanding to the west as the first expansion, and you can see he's trying to even just run down here with a single infantry. And AK is building SAMs, so he's preparing for some air. Nickname is building tanks and another factory. So Nickname has 1, 2, 3 squads out for capping. I guess you can say this is for capping as well, but it's not like back capping. And then he's just going for it here. And I could imagine it's just as much just for scouting purposes. And I don't think AK can actually see this transport yet, but let's just keep an eye out on if he's actually able to spot it. Yeah, he does. So that's a huge giveaway right there. So now AK knows what's up. But it doesn't trigger an immediate response from AK, which makes total sense. And here comes the helis from Nickname. But AK already got the SAMs ready, and he got the helis of his own. Nickname did manage to take 1 infantry down here, and he actually forgot about these. Or is just too busy at the moment. That's a lot of infantry just standing around. They could be capping right now. And then he's capping up here and all the way like around. AK is still not actively searching for these, but he just knows they are up there. So Nickname is already trying to expand across the map. Now this is an issue for Nickname because he's going at it, and he's trying to hit these SAMs with his tanks, but he has no anti-air himself, and the tanks just become sitting ducks. And I'm actually quite surprised that he keeps going at it, and he does cancel that, and he switched into SAMs. And this is already looking quite scary, because AK got quite a few units here. And Nickname is still, only now does he do anything about all of these units. And also these up here. I don't think they were standing still for too long, but these These were getting a good break for a while at least. Nickname puts down 2 expansion barracks. And this is, I don't know if I would have thought about this if I haven't seen the seen the stream, but if you think about it, it's actually quite obvious, especially when AKA has his base here and he's going helis. So this army that Nickname produces over here is very likely to get hit by helis because they're so close, and obviously Nickname knows that AKA is expanding to the west as well, but maybe he hopes to stay hidden. This is a lot of infantry, but Nickname got his SAMs up and running now. And AK puts down another barracks, and he's producing commandos, and that's most likely because he knows that Nickname has commandos up here, and he puts down even another one. Because he knows that after that drop he spotted that Nickname will probably invest quite a bit. And I'm very surprised here by Nickname how confident he is that he's not losing, because he's still just capping with these infantry, these as well. He's not even using them for reinforcements. Like he seems very confident that this is gonna be fine. Like I would have panicked and put down a bunch of other buildings to defend, but Nickname puts down 2 barracks over here. He did put down a 1 extra though. And then he puts down a barracks here. Despite this being so much under pressure. These guys just keep capping. Now he does use them as reinforcements though. And now Nickname knows that AK knows he's there. And then the obvious thing happens, and that is a lot of helis. So I'm actually surprised that Nickname didn't build a factory so he could produce SAMs. I guess it's pretty easy to say in hindsight, but Nickname knew that AK was producing helis, and he knows his base is here, so he knows that those helis can easily reach this point as well. So this is a tough one for Nickname, because he did invest quite a bit in this area. And this one I missed in the stream. He's actually trying to drop directly in the base, but the plane goes down. And here you will see some microing, Nickname chasing these SAMs, because he can't use his helis. This is a lot of SAMs. But look how he even traps this one. It can't move at all. And AK is trying to move them out of the way. He's trying to get them like closer to his own units, but away from the tanks. But Nickname really got a lot of those SAMs. I think that was 4 SAMs or so. So that's how you use tanks, by the way. if your opponent has a bunch of SAMs and you can't use your helis, 3 tanks running after your opponent's SAMs are a really good tool. Meanwhile, this is how you use your helis at places where your opponent doesn't have any anti-air. And once again, he's just going for it. AK just got a few more SAMs and they are immediately under attack. And now AK actually wants to support with the helis, but they are out of gas. He only has 1 gas. Really put down a lot of... he also built a factory and SAMs, so he's worried that Nickname might have built an airport over here. And here comes Nickname's helis now that he cleaned up all these SAMs. Really good play by Nickname. A single damaged SAM doesn't worry him too much, obviously. So that's how you defend yourself. And now that Nickname's transport jet is gone, he's just moving along the coastline with these commandos instead. And suddenly Nickname doesn't seem to be under that much pressure here. In the meantime, AK has really cleaned up. In the north, only 1 barracks left, 1 infantry. So that was definitely a big expense for Nickname. That didn't pay off. And now Nickname puts down a factory at this proxy base, so to speak. As you would expect, I would say. Because you don't want your other proxy base to just get overrun by helis as well. Nickname tries to rush in once again with the tanks, but without SAM support. His SAMs are all the way back here. So he's not really... he's not doing anything good for his own anti-air. Or for his own push, I would say. He's really letting AKA get the upper hand here. And even if he gets 3 SAMs, that's a lot of helis. So I'm surprised that he does push this much. Of course, Nickname also has his own helis which can fight other helis. Now this is a very interesting play from Nickname. I think most would, I don't know, panic or get overexcited that they are so close to these interesting targets, so you would start hitting this airport. But I assume that Nickname doesn't do it because the helis is not gonna get destroyed even though he gets this airport, so it doesn't help him in that regard. He might get this airport and then that's it. And of course that's a building down, that's fewer helis in the future, but it's not gonna help him right now. And now all of a sudden, with all this heli support, Nickname SAMs going down, he's in a bunch of trouble once again. So Nickname is clearly going for the gas. He can spot that one already. So while killing this airport doesn't help him right away, killing AKA's gas will put these helis to the ground for a moment at least. But he is really under pressure now. And he can barely afford to move his own energy units. But once again, he just puts down another barracks here. Like I was so surprised watching this game. And he builds eco even. He builds for this trade. He doesn't even build any more. Like I would have panicked and I would just have put down everything I could here. He does put down another factory. But by now I would have put down 5 barracks. But I know that that would also mean that I would not have this eco for the future, and I would lose this part of the map. And now Nickname, he split his commandos into 2 groups and he's just going for it. Both of AK's gas refineries at the same time. And AKA reacts now on this one and now on this one. And that's when he realizes it's both refineries. But he got a bunch of options for building gas elsewhere. But of course it will cost him money and it will take some time to rebuild it. Nickname chooses to dig in. Let's see. He has a bunch of helis, but there's also a bunch of SAMs right in front of his airport. And this time he has a hard time getting the tanks towards the SAMs. And he gets both gases, refineries, and AK puts down one immediately. But this way he actually manages to shut down AK's helis. And I would say in general, just a heads up, AKA tends to build a lot of helis. Like he really likes to build up a massive heli army, and then he doesn't care if you have 5 or 10 SAMs. He just outnumber them basically at one point. So he uses his helis very wisely and makes sure they don't die until he has so many that he doesn't even care about how many SAMs you have. And now Nickname does the same trick as AK did. So he's using his helis at a spot where they are very efficient because the opponent doesn't have any anti-air. Though AK has already put down another airport here. But I think it's still helis coming out. Nickname in the meantime is also going for some eco of AKs. And actually I didn't even look at the eco so far. So 1300 for AKA and only 950 for Nickname. And this is the tough part about using air. It's very difficult to control them precisely. I guess microing them, because they hit the targets that are just close to them. And AK is splitting up a bit, trying to get his SAMs forward but still protected. And then he's flanking Nickname at the same time. And see, Nickname puts down his buildings here rather than up here, which I just find quite surprising. He's out of gas and these SAMs can just pick out these helis as they want. I don't even know where Nickname's gas is actually. Was it here? Did AK just kill it? No, it's up here. So now AK got all of this land and a bunch of infantry, and he can begin to send the units from these buildings into this fight or even up here. Nickname is still going at it with these commandos. They have really been a good return of investment. They get another barracks and maybe even a factory. I think that was 4 or 5 commandos getting 2 gases, 2 industries, a barracks and a factory. And they draw AK's attention, and they draw some of his air units. And AK built an interceptor now, which can both work as anti-air, but it can also work as picking out these commandos, because they have such good vision. And Nickname is going directly at this barracks to keep AK's units down. He's putting down a barracks here because he's well aware that AK is on the way to cap this part as well, and obviously he cannot let this fall. And he still manages to stay alive, but here comes a bunch of helis once again, and Nickname only has 2 SAMs now. So all of a sudden it gets very easy for AKA to do whatever he wants up here with all these helis and no anti-air from his opponent. Nickname is actually starting to push back, but in a minute all the units will start to, from AK, will start to come in from these buildings, and of course all the ones that he built up throughout the game, which could make a big difference. Nickname puts down a gas here. I'm not sure what for. I guess the helis that he has down here, he wants to keep them going, and he thinks that this will go down in a minute. And he's actually just hitting the airport, because if he can get that, and then AK's interceptors are going down. But AK also got SAMs on the way now. So even if Nickname manages to kill this, probably won't help him too much. But he does manage to get it. It's just 1150 for Nickname and almost 1500 for AK. So AK is way ahead. So I think what Nickname's expansion just didn't work in this game, and that's why he got shut down. This cost him so much. If he had kept a foothold here with his barracks and starting to cap, he could of course get the income from all these territories. He could build a town even and start to have another front line, and suddenly he would be kind of encapsulating AK by having a base here and here and here. But AK was very fast to shut this down, and then Nickname's options were very limited. So I guess we all know where this is going now. So I'm just gonna speed it up a bit because we still have more games to go. There you go. So a very good game by both, but AK really managed to keep Nickname from expanding, and he kept him under control. He used his helis very well. Nickname used his tanks very well as well, but um, he didn't keep up with the anti-air. I think that's I think that was a big loss for Nickname, but yeah, he maybe didn't produce enough SAMs, and that proxy base cost him quite a bit. And then I guess just AK's starting position was just better as well. So, but let's jump straight into the next game. See ya. Okay, so here's the second game, and Nickname has chosen this one as he lost the first, and he picks down here. It's a very interesting map with a lot of eco and gas. Just gonna speed it up quite a bit. So no, actually there's also a local trade here, and then a trade here and here, but the land is not connected. Well, there's also 2 trades even here. So a lot of eco, and they both chooses the exact same spot, which makes sense. It's definitely the best spot because you have these very safe trades, 2 of them even, and you could have a local one here. It's a bit trickier to defend, but you could defend it. Now they slightly disagree, where AKA is leaning more towards right side and Nickname towards the left side. And I guess AKA just, because I was about to say I'm a bit confused that AKA prefers this, but I guess there's a lot of points of interest like gas and towns and industries, while this is more just territory, and you would have to be aggressive and get this gas, and so you would have to rely that you could push the front line. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Nickname preferred more territory, and AK seemed to prefer like more resources, so to speak, or points of interest. And AK seems happy with this, since he just extends his territories, because I think he only had 2 land territories before. He could only have 2 starting points. So he wants to extend that, so he has the option to actually put down all his units. And then Nickname makes a very kind of controversial, I don't know, maybe not, but it's not too many territories you got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in a tough spot. Both actually are like very limited, hard to expand, but I guess Nickname actually has the option to expand this way, and of course this way, while AK has a choke that he has to get out of, and then he can slowly expand over here. But it's almost that Nickname actually has better options for expanding over here, just because it's so far for Nickname. AK can, on the other hand, expand over here and here, and then yeah. So I would say actually Nickname has the better expansion options. going here and here, here, and then yeah, I don't know. Just also because Nickname's starting position here is a bit more centralized. That tends to help. Like if you build a transport jet here with commandos, you can spread them to all corners of the map, while AK with a transport jet here is obviously very limited, just because he can't reach all points of the map. And they're picking the same spots again and again, so there will be no close spawn fight, unless Nickname picks this. Nickname starts here, not surprising, and obviously AK is gonna start up here. And they both know. I would say that they know where each other starts. I guess Nickname or AK could fear that he started here. But look at this very bold start from Nickname. He just lost one. He has to win this one, otherwise he's into the lower brackets. And he puts down 2 airports and a sub pin. Now, why a sub pin? I think he puts down a sub pin to first off kill any ports that AK puts up, but maybe even more important, to scout. So he can put a sub up here, and then his strikers can actually target buildings, because then he has spotted the buildings. So I think that's a sneaky way of trying to spot AK's buildings, so he can use his strikers. So you will probably notice that he won't cap any of these territories. He won't give away his position. And I don't know actually how well submarines vision are for land stuff, but I guess we'll figure out now. AK in the meantime builds transport jets so he can expand more quickly. Builds a bunch of eco, 3 industries and a town, bunch of commandos, and a factory. Nickname has 2 barracks, and he is, as expected, expanding up here and down and up with 2 squads, and then around here. I don't know if he just wants this quickly, since he's moving there with the infantry. So all he actually spots with this sub is the town. And I guess it's the same with this one, just trying to see if he can get any vision on AK's base. AK is expanding to the right at the first expansion, and actually we missed this in the replay, but I saw it in the stream. He tried to expand over here, but the plane didn't react, so he just couldn't get it to work, but that was his first intent, which makes very good sense. I think he could have landed here or here. Sometimes it's you have to have the line, or you can have the line cross a bit, and I just noticed I think he didn't really, like, he could have pushed it a bit more, at least here. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe he also just got frustrated by the end. and didn't want to spend too much time on it. Nickname is just going full on strikers, 6 strikers. But AK is preparing with some SAMs actually, but only 1 SAM so far, and that's not a lot against 2. Oh, sorry, he has 1 interceptor as well actually. And he spots this with the submarine, and he spots this. So now he can target this building thanks to the submarine. And now he spots everything else as well. So he gets the gas, which means AK will not be able to use his air in a minute. He still has his starting gas. And now AK knows what's up. He does want this arty to be done, but then he goes into SAMs. And I could imagine AK is maybe panicking a little bit now, because having so many airplanes close to you. And now AK sees that Nickname has subs as well. So what that does tell him is that he might have an advantage on land units, just because Nickname has invested so much in Navy and air. But on the other hand, AK has actually also invested quite a bit in the commandos, and now his transport jets are standing completely still. Nickname goes for the factory, so to limit AK's production of SAMs. Because as long as Nickname can hold that down, then he's free to do whatever he wants basically with his air force. Just need to protect himself from AK at this spot. He does lack some gas, and I guess that's why he is capturing this one. AK gets his second gas. Of course, it's the only one he has, but it's the second he built. Further away from Nickname, he puts down another factory, so you can get those SAMs going, and he's starting to dig in with a few SAMs. So I think that's the only reason that we don't see Nickname pushing even more with the air, is just because he doesn't have the gas. 550 for Nickname and 620 for AK. So AK is actually ahead with Eco. And that's also because Nickname cannot obviously capture with anything with all these planes. And he's going for the airport. Just as AK is starting to get some interceptors, some transport jets. Loses, that's the second, third. So they are dying very quickly. It does get the airport, but it cost him a lot of planes. I think he should have used his interceptors as well. First off, to draw some fire from the SAMs, but they could also draw fire from the interceptors and maybe even shoot down an interceptor. And I think it seemed like he had the energy for it. So I think definitely he should also have put up his interceptors. Because what is he gonna use his interceptors for anyways when he's killing the airport? His opponent's airport. So that's definitely one way he could have played that slightly better and could have had way more strikers now. His nickname's issue now is that he has 2 airports that he needs to get a lot more value out of in the future as well, since they're costing a lot of money just having around filled with airplanes. See, they can't even scout this. Once again, he needs the interceptors. He does send the interceptors actually, but it might be too late. I think these strikers will go back before the interceptors reach. In the meantime, he's also expanding to the west. And he does get the commandos. I wonder if he spots the units here. No, it doesn't. AK puts down another airport. It's a very tough position for AK. Losing a factory, gas and all his air. And of course, nickname puts down a shipyard. Nickname is searching with these subs. I don't know if he's searching for ports or if he's just still kind of trying to get some info. Keeps building the strikers, but he's not really using them right now, at least. Puts down a bit more producers for land units. And now AKA could really push on, because there's not many units from nickname. And once again, just a disclaimer, obviously I got a bunch of hindsight here, so so I'm not saying that any of these players are doing bad decisions, of course, because these 2 are the best players. It's just so much easier when I already know what's happening and the outcome, and obviously now I can see everything as well. So nickname is trying to snipe some eco up here. AK got his got an interceptor though, but I think he maybe have put it down at the wrong place, so he had to cancel and then fire it back up. Now, but what I wanted to say is I think AKA could have really played this better. Like, he's capping and he's going across the mountain. He could have just rushed through this with a move command. Keep his SAMs here, maybe just in front of this entrenchment, and then move all of his infantry directly to the airport, instead of head on into this entrenchment across the mountains, moving slow, and then put his artillery to fight here. But he actually ends up going for this instead. And I guess it could be because he feels like he already kind of shut down this airport just by having the SAMs right here. And in a way, if you have, let's say if AK just had a lot of missile ships here, in a way it's almost better to just have these airports paralyzed, because they will then still cost a lot of upkeep for Nickname, but he can't use them. But I think these SAMs, they're just too far away, so Nickname can actually still use these planes. So I think that was a missed opportunity for AK, where it could really hurt Nickname. He could have moved all these units here, get these two airports out of the way, then he didn't have to have this many SAMs up here and build interceptors. It would have helped quite a bit. Now this is a very nice drop from Nickname. I'm sorry I didn't catch that, but as I remember, he put down some, let's see, he dropped commandos somewhere here, and then he just moved along. He killed AK's gas, and then he even also got his airport. So really nice hits from a Nickname, and he manages to also get a town with the boats. He also managed to push AK off this part of the map. So I bet Nickname has caught up with the eco now. 950 and 770. So Nickname is ahead. And this is kind of what AK has going for him. And I'm sorry, I just had to sneeze. But I did manage to mute the mic in time, so it didn't have to get shocked. And now Nickname built up so many infantry that he can actually attack AK's army from the back. And he's going for these barracks. And this time he takes the infantry, the interceptors with him. But he does cancel it. He also did target both, which was maybe a bit optimistic. AK manages to kill the barracks, and he's hitting on the factory. Flirting with it. Hoping that AK put down 3 barracks here, and Nickname is trying to get his proxy up and running. So he's retreating with these units to build up a force that can actually withstand this. Let's see how much he can. So he knows there's quite a bit, but not too much, and AK knows that Nickname is down here, but I'm pretty sure he expected that anyways. And now AK is delegating a few units to try to hit this air. And his SAMs has been pushed away, so they can't even support these. Nickname spots it immediately, and he's just going to defend it with air and commandos. Unfortunately for AK, his SAMs has just been pushed all the way over here, and they're in big trouble now. And that's a bummer for AKA, because that means he has to rebuild all these SAMs, which means less artillery. And in the meantime, Nickname has put down some navy, so he can move across and get an invasion going and start to really split AK's army. And he can also hit the buildings with whatever comes out of this shipyard. And right here, Nickname is just focused on defending. AK SAMs do manage to survive. AK put down a factory. It's over here. Okay. So AK just still has the upper hand regarding land units. So he should still be able to do something here. Because that's only 1-2 barracks from Nickname. Of course, he also has these two, and I guess they are actually starting to support this. So that's 4 and then 2 factories, while AK has 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But he has to split his army as well now. And once again, I think AK could have done this better. He could have moved the units. Right now they will have to go here, and then here, and then so, and then here. So they will really slow down, and it will take a lot of time instead of just having a move command. Might get this shipyard though. And I guess he doesn't want to move his SAMs here because he's a bit nervous about the number of infantry. I'm not completely sure why he prioritizes this rather than just get rid of all of this. In my opinion, it would help AK so much getting these airfields down, so spend all the energy or all his resources on trying to achieve that. And now we got some helis working on it as well. If he had sent these units here, they could also hit this, and it would probably had gone down. Now, of course, this one is not the important one. This one is, and I'm not sure if he would be able to get all the way through, but he certainly won't be able to when he's splitting his army in two and taking the absolutely slowest path possible. And this is good for AK, that he can have the SAMs so close. I would have maybe tried to be even more aggressive, put the SAMs even closer, so these strikers might turn towards those. I don't think he can get them that close though. And I get that he also needs to protect them from the commandos. Nickname is going around with a few tanks here, and in the meantime this has gone into kind of a stalemate where AK gets to recap all of this territory, and Nickname just has a big proxy base with a bunch of units to defend it. And I get that AK wants to take some of the eco away from Nickname. Now Nickname actually built up so many artillery that he can start to push back here. And it's also going really well for Nickname over here. He's doing some good progress. He's starting to transport his units even further up so they can be part of the battle immediately. AK gets an industry, and he gets this shipyard. And the tanks he managed to defend against. And he also managed to defend this actually, but it will probably go down with these two missile ships. But Nickname is having trouble keeping up with the energy. AK gets to use his helis without any opposition. And this is the first SAM from Nickname, I think. And here AK is a bit unlucky that the heli split up like that. Now he really needs to push this. He needs to get rid of this. Nickname tries to recap some of the lost territory, so let's just take a look at the eco. 880 and almost 1100 for Nickname. I'm still really confused that AK chooses to take this path. But I get that there is a lot going on, and Nickname managed to get this town. So Nickname is really keeping AK from getting any economy up and running. He cannot build this town, well obviously now, but when he had this territory, this town, that it's a lot of towns that Nickname with a few ships can keep AK from getting any eco from. And now actually Nickname starts to get all of AK's SAMs here. So now he goes for it, and that's a tough one for AK, because these SAMs will go down rather quickly. So Nickname retreats back to his entrenchments, and then he wants to move troops across directly into AK's main base instead. Here comes the help from the interceptors, AK's interceptors, but fortunately too late, at least to protect the units, but they can still get maybe one or two of these strikers. Probably both of them actually. And now Nickname is starting to build eco, and getting these two traits will really put him way ahead eco wise. And AK's momentum kind of disappeared. And he still has 5 artillery protecting nothing here, 3 artillery protecting almost nothing here. Guess you could argue they kind of defend this barracks. And he actually managed to kick Nickname out of this piece of land. And now he's recapping it. But Nickname has not given up on it. Now he can support with the air. Oh, actually, never mind. AK has a bunch of SAMs up there. Doesn't have SAMs here though. And AK can see this landing. Let's take a look at the eco. AK is in negative income now, so that's not good. 800 versus 1200, so Nickname just has so much more eco now. And in general, I would say that if Nickname has 50% more income than you have, then you're probably not gonna win. Nickname puts down a nice entrenchment here where you can really get value out of these infantry. And AK does regret attacking that. But at least he got access to some eco now. And now Nickname's army is as big, if not even bigger than AK's, and there you go. So yeah, that Nickname took a huge gamble at the beginning of that game, putting down 2 airports and 1 sub-pen. That is very bold when you just lost, and if you lose this one, you're out. And he puts down two airports in such a scenario versus the champion of the last tournament. That's a pretty awesome start, and I think it really surprised AK, and it cost him quite a bit. And then he I think he made a few mistakes in his attack against Nickname's base, but of course he had it was a tough start for him, so it was tough to come back from that. But he had a moment where he was actually ahead because Nickname invested so much in air that cannot expand, it cannot cap anything, same as with the sub-pens. So yes, they killed 3 of AK's buildings, but AK was quite a bit ahead eco-wise for a long time. And then Nickname started to pull away. So yeah, that's 1-1 and one seat left. So let's jump into the last game. Well played by both in this one. Very very fun game to watch. And welcome to the last map, which is a island map. A lot of players don't like these kind of maps, I think. That's my interpretation, at least. I think when you play in the lobbies, you never really see people say, no, I don't want to play this map when it's a big land map. But you often get people that say, no, not this one, too much water. I think Nickname has it just fine with these kind of maps. I don't know about AK actually, if he prefers land or water, or if he doesn't really care if it's one or the other. But this is a heavy water island map with limited gas. So all the gas is actually concentrated over here, and then you have 1, 2, 3 kind of spread out. And once again, disclaimer, I have the hindsight, so I'm not saying the players are taking bad decisions. It's always so easy in hindsight. But I think gas is so important in this one. Because if you can limit your opponent or limit their access to gas, it will be very difficult for the player to move between islands. They do both start here. Which I was actually surprised by. Because it has no gas. And then they both pick this one, also without gas. So clearly these two players know something that I don't, because they prefer these areas. But yeah, I don't know, because I don't know where I would have started otherwise. I guess it is the best spots actually. And then just having in mind that you would try to expand to more energy. Because even if you start here, you can just build some navy to cap this, then go down here, or you could move across to this with transport jets with your initial energy. So now Nickname has a bunch of energy, while AK is very limited, but he has more eco. So if I were to play this, I would have focused on expansion as fast as possible to get for Nickname it would be to get eco up here, and for AKA it would be to get gas somewhere else. Let's see how they start out here. So AK starts in the bottom. Could have started up here as well actually. A Nickname makes a cross pick and puts 3 infantry on this, which I think is also pretty bold. Nickname puts down a town, a shipyard, and some air. And he wants to scout. I think this is just to know whether or not AKA is here or not. AKA puts down commandos and transport jets for quick expansion, some air defense, and now he knows where Nickname is, and Nickname knows where AKA is. He also puts down a single industry. Nickname pops down a barracks on this island to, I guess, to just cap this faster and also defend it. So I imagine this transport jet is going for the gas immediately. No, it's not actually. I thought it would go here, but it's going for the middle. Nickname is building transport ships. So his next move must be down here, and it is. Because he needs that gas. And I assume that AK is thinking, as long as I get this island, and I have this, then I don't need Navy control, because I will get so much eco. But I think I would have built some Navy, I think. Because then he could cap this, which is fairly secure. It's easy to defend here, or even here with the air support. And everything that AK can build, towns, here, and here, if he manages to cap this, they will be very vulnerable for against Navy. And AK can only cap this single energy, so it's not like he can build up a huge air force and then use that against Nickname's Navy. That would be because he then is thinking that he would get so much eco that he could just put down a bunch of solar panels. But if you see it from Nickname's point of view, if he knows that AK has no gas, or no Navy, then Nickname knows, okay, there's only this one. There's only this gas that AK could have then. And he's also going for it immediately, because he knows that there's nowhere else AK can have gas, because so far at least he has no Navy. And even if he has, this is probably the first one he will build. Nickname is once again going for that airport with a early striker attack, but this time AK is having none of it. He really prepared this time, and that paid off, so that cost Nickname quite a bit. Nickname got a barracks going in the middle as well, just like AK has. And I think this is kind of Nickname strategy. So put down 3 or 4 infantry, cap 1 territory, and then immediately go to the next one, and then put down a barracks here instead. And now that AKA so far doesn't have any navy, Nickname can also fairly easily get all of these trades up and running. At least this one and this one. AK could get this one, but it's very vulnerable as long as he doesn't have any navy. And AK knows how important this is, so he put down 2 barracks. Unfortunately, no air defense. So takes over his helis, which is a very good move. They can defend against the strikers and the ground units. And he also expands to this island. So AK got the expansion going, but so does Nickname. They are pretty equal in that regard. Though I guess, like, if you're starting here and your opponent starts here, it's only Nickname that would already be here and here as well. That's pretty impressive. Places you would think that you have for yourself. This is a very good landing from Nickname. Very aggressive. So well played. Putting down a bunch of land units. Put in the strikers and put in the missile ships to help with the helis. And then that just completely shreds apart everything AKA has here. So well played and so well timed. Like everything hits at the same time. And now these ships can get the buildings from the sea as well. And AK tries to hit some of Nickname's gas. But Nickname already has a bunch of units ready to defend. But it's very well played by AK. He knows there's probably defense here, so he did save up a lot of commandos. 8 commandos dropping, which is actually enough. So when you expect that your opponent probably expects that you will drop commandos, just drop more. It usually helps. Because it's very rare that people are able to defend against 8 or 10 commandos. This is a very nice pick from AK, and it actually Nickname's only gas, and it puts him completely out of gas. It's a very good kill. And over here, AK spots that Nickname is capping this, so he's immediately moving back towards his own gas to defend it, rather than capping. And he sends over even more commandos to help defend it. In the meantime, he's trying to get control over this island. And Nickname is kind of splitting his units from these 2 barracks to both go for this gas, but also to contest this island. And now Nickname got complete control over the middle island. Which is not good for AK, because that means he can get a lot of eco from these trades. And AK wants to push through here, but it's very tough in chokes with entrenchments. Like you need a lot more units than your opponent. And Nickname is just aggressive now, so he lands on AK's island while he's also attacking his gas. And AK doesn't have much to defend this with. And AK is trying to land over here to check if Nickname built gas on any of these two instead. He has a nice arty blob here though. But this is scary, and it also means he can't keep reinforcing this blob. So very good invasion from Nickname. Even though it doesn't lead to anything, at least it keeps AK from reinforcing this blob. If all these were going here, I'm sure he could push through, but now he has to divert them. And AK manages to defend this just fine, and he's getting a good army here. And this time he's preparing for any air from Nickname. Let's look at the eco. 700 from AK, and I assume Nickname is ahead. 850. And here comes the play we all been waiting for. Nickname with his aircraft carriers. And he even blocks the transport jets using his missile ships. So AK will have a tough time defending this now. Wonder if he will get this as well. Oh, yeah. Nickname is everywhere at once, so he of course notices this and gets it on the way back. He's also targeting this town, which will go down and further give Nickname a good lead on eco. And AK is trying to get some snipes, but Nickname is prepared and has a lot of infantry now. He's starting to put down town, preparing for a trade, I guess. Puts down a lot of producers here. So now he actually has more producers than AK has. AK is desperately trying to get some more eco. And now this is just a very good play. So okay, I'm having a tough time getting this gas because AK apparently has a lot of commandos. So what do? I take my air with an aircraft carrier, take it down here, and then I'll just hit it with strikers. Good luck killing them with commandos. That is just such a good play. I never see these being used because people feel like they are not worth it. But if you use them like Nickname, they can really help out quite a bit. This is just yeah, very, very well played. And he's just producing a bunch of aircraft carriers now, but I assume he's also feeling quite confident, even though he's not that much ahead eco wise, 200 or so. Now it starts to invade this island as well. AK managed to kick Nickname off of this island. He's trying to get a small piece of territory over here, maybe build a barracks, but Nickname is on top of that. And now he's just preparing to attack this with air. AK is ready for that though. What he probably wasn't ready for is how many units Nickname has here and the land invasion as well. That's 9 strikers that you can move across the map as you want. But AK really has a lot of SAMs here. And Nickname immediately regrets as 2 strikers right away. So of course the big con about these are that you have to go back and kind of refill them. So you have to be careful with your planes, otherwise they will just spend their entire lifetime moving back and forth between the airport to refill and whatever their target location is. AK tries to put down a shipyard to spread across to the middle island, but he's suddenly under so much pressure from land units, and just I don't know if he didn't expect it, but even if he did, his economy just can't keep up with it. And now invasions are coming from everywhere. This is a very good drop from AK though, and it's one of those bold drops that like someone like me would probably never do, because I would be certain that no, he got anti-air, but you can't have anti-air everywhere. So such a good play to just take them between these 2 pieces of land and then drop directly on top of what you want to kill. So AK gets the airport, he gets, I can't recall if it was a factory or a barracks, and then a barracks more, one more barracks, and then he can start to kill this from the back. Unfortunately, he has a lot of trouble elsewhere. And I think Nickname is setting up to hit this. Let's see how much he can see actually. You could maybe expect that most of AK SAMs are here, and then he has a few here. So once again, it's about kind of having the guts to just go for it and and know that your opponent cannot have anti-air everywhere, and worst case he can always cancel. So he's going for it. And I think he's way ahead with eco now. 1250 and 850. Gets the town, and a factory, and then he uses the haste move to get them home safe. So as you can see, it can definitely pay off to be brave with your units, take the shot, but of course they have to be well considered, and you need to consider where your opponent maybe doesn't have any anti-air. So AK thought no anti-air here. He has here, maybe here, but no here. And same with Nickname. Oh, he has anti-air here and here. What if I attack like this? And then suddenly you can get a good use out of your units. And Nickname, he loses his shipyard. Okay, so he can't refill his aircraft carriers anymore, and he almost he's on the way to getting 4 trades, 3 for now though. No, sorry, actually only 2. So Nickname's eco will just go crazy with those 4 up and running. AK is making use of his single transport boat he got. Might as well cap a few territories. And there you go. Nickname lost the first one, and then he manages to get back and win the next 2. Really good games, all 3 of them. So much fun to watch and a lot to learn. So I hope you found them just as interesting as I did. See, it was fairly equal in the beginning, and then Nickname slowly started to creep ahead, and then it kind of went south for AK here. The last third of the game. Eco wise, AK was ahead bit of the time, not too much, just slightly ahead, but was overtaken. And I think this is also a good scenario, or a good indicator that you're kind of losing when you have 614 in income, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ticks later, you only increase that with 80. So that's almost certainly doomed to lose, and it just tells a story about how tough AK had it in this game and how difficult it was for him to expand, because Nickname basically shot him down. He was already on the west side of the map, and you don't expect that from most players. It's crazy how fast he can get everywhere on the map and then delegate his resources accordingly. And I think AK kind of made this same mistake as Nickname did in the first game, where he put down a proxy base close to enemy airport and then only put down barracks. That is, you have to keep it hidden for quite a while, and you have to gamble that your opponent doesn't have the guts to attack it with air, because they are afraid that there is anti-air. But these 2 players, they go at it, and if there is anti-air, then they just retreat. But they usually just give it a go, and then it can sometimes really pay off. So yeah, very well played by both. Someone said that my nickname sucks is now in the final. The first final whatever, or whatever that's called. I don't know. And AKA is kicked into the lower brackets. But it's not over yet for AKA. He can fight his way back by winning the lower brackets, and then he can actually meet Nickname or another player um, from the upper brackets again in the final, the last final. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, take a look yourself at the website for the tournament challenge.com. The links are in the Discord as well. So yeah, that's it. That was 3 very good and long games, fun to watch. I hope you thought it was fun and interesting as well. And yeah, thanks for now. Have a nice day. Bye.